So, how have you been doing as you are weathering the storm that we currently are facing with the coronavirus challenge? We've all been at this now a few weeks, so we are all staying home and social distancing, which has given us lots of opportunity to be with our families. And we've learned to wash our hands and disinfect our homes more than we ever thought possible. We've learned to Skype or Zoom our friends and family instead of stopping by for a visit. Virtual visits are now the new norm. So now that we have these new personal behaviors firmly established, we naturally turn our attention to our work, our businesses. What is our new normal in our businesses? When it seems the momentum that began this year, began this season, has been stopped. How do we get the engine started again? How do we regain momentum? I remember reading several years ago about momentum in John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And in chapter 16, entitled The Law of the Big Mo, Maxwell uses the phrase dead in the water to describe what happens when you can't seem to get yourself or your organization moving in the right direction. He says when you lack momentum, you are dead in the water. Well, that phrase, dead in the water, really caught my attention. And I remembered I had heard it before. It's a nautical term. My husband, Ron, is a Navy veteran, and he served 2 tours of duty during Vietnam. And he had used that term once when he was sharing some of his Navy experiences with me. Ron had shared that there were really 2 enemies when they were out at sea. The first enemy was the enemy outside the ship. We were at war, and that first enemy, of course, was who they were fighting, which was the Viet Cong at the time. The second enemy was the enemy inside the ship, meaning any type of system failure on board the ship that could stop the progress, that could render the ship DIW, dead in the water. Ron said they constantly drilled, so they knew what to do and how to respond immediately to any DIW situation. Well, not ever having been on a ship personally myself, I was really curious as to what happens when a ship goes DIW. How do you know? Well, Ron shared there are 3 things that you notice immediately. First, everything goes silent. You've been cruising along, making great progress with the steady hum of the engines as a constant assurance, and then suddenly, silence. A deafening silence, he said. You never realize how loud the sound of progress is until you don't have it. Second, everything goes dark. The lights go out and you are in complete pitch black darkness. I mean, imagine you're underneath in the bows of the ship. You can't even see your hand, literally cannot see your hand in front of you. It's that dark. And third, everything becomes directionless. You're no longer in control of the direction the ship was headed, but rather you are now at the mercy of every wave buffeting the ship and taking it in a direction you had not been planning. Silent, dark, and directionless. Not a good combination when you're out at sea. And that's why the sailors drill and prepare constantly so that the most dangerous of all enemies doesn't set in, the enemy of panic. So then Ron told me there are 4 actions the sailors take immediately when DIW happens. And they have drilled for this constantly. So there's no hesitation, but rather immediate action. The first is your radio for help. The captain immediately radios his superior officer to let him know they need help. And interestingly enough, the one thing that always works on board a ship, no matter what, is the communication system. It never goes out. But because you're out at sea, help could be hours and really more likely days away, prompting you into the second step, which is to take action. Every crew member knows that even though you radioed for help, ultimately, it's not another ship's job to fix your problem. So you take action to isolate the problem of what stopped your progress. And it will be in one of two areas. It'll either be in the boiler room where the basic components are housed, or it'll be in the electrical room where the more sophisticated components are. And those crew members who are assigned to those two areas immediately go to work on finding the problem and fixing the problem, and they don't stop working until the ship is back underway, no matter how long it takes. Third thing is you go topside. The remaining crew members go topside. They head for daylight. Then they gather in their assigned teams all over the ship topside. They gather together in smaller groups to quell any potential concerns. And from topside, you can see more clearly. You can locate the horizon, and then you can finally get your bearings that you were lacking when it was dark. And they all stay together topside until the problem is solved. And the fourth thing, you debrief. Once the problem is solved and the ship is underway, the principals meet together to do an immediate debrief to determine the cause for the loss of progress and determine the fix so that it won't happen again. So you can see why the term dead in the water caught my attention. You know, when Maxwell uses it in his writings on momentum, it carries a significant meaning. Consider the challenging times we're currently experiencing. We were cruising along at top speed, having a great year, a great start to the season, when out of nowhere, we were attacked by an invisible enemy. We momentarily lost our progress. We lost our momentum. It's incumbent upon us as leaders to watch for these three signs of dead in the water, DIW, in ourselves and our team members during this challenging time. Number one, watch for silence. Have you or any of your team members pulled back? Stopped answering calls or emails or texts? Stopped getting on team calls? Has there been silence? No communication? Two, darkness. If there is communication, is it dark? Is it negative? Is it fearful? Is it focused on what they can't do, what won't work? They're just done. They're ready to throw in the towel. And three, directionless. Are they no longer seeing what they control in their businesses, but rather are they allowing everything around them to sweep them in any and every direction, especially in a direction they've not planned? Silence, darkness, directionlessness. This is when your leadership is needed more than ever. It's a time to head to your battle stations and take immediate action so that they can see you and they can follow you in the 4 steps to regain your momentum. Number 1, radio for help. Reach out to your upline to let her know you need help, either for yourself or as you're working with your team members. And you know, the beautiful thing about this business is the communication system always works. Someone will answer. Reach out to as many uplines as you need to until you connect. Secondly, take action. Though you radioed for help, remember this is your business and it's not someone else's job to fix your problem. Your upline can make suggestions and provide enormous support. They always do. But ultimately, you are the one who needs to act upon those suggestions. So locate the cause of your DIW, and it'll be in one of 2 places in your business. It'll either be in your boiler room of your business with the basics of your business, where the skills of booking and team building and customer serving are located. Or the problem will be in the electrical room of your business, where the more sophisticated business skills take place, like the technical skills, like virtual shows and virtual serving and online ordering skills and social media skills are housed. Take action on the area that has the greatest impact to get you moving forward, and don't stop working on that area until you see momentum again. 3, go topside. Get out of the dark and into the light. Get together with your team members to support and encourage each other. You need each other to quell any concerns or possible panic right now. And look for the horizon and regain your business bearings by helping each other clarify what victory looks like by the end of the month. Help each other see the horizon just 1 month out. Look just at the month that we're in, the month of April. just think, what will victory look like by April 30th? That's all the further you can see on that horizon. We can't see out to May, June, and beyond. We can see just a bit of the horizon, but just enough, just enough. It'll help you regain focus and a sense of what you do control when you can clearly define, what does that horizon look like at the end of April? What will victory look like for me at the end of April? It is a critical mindset to maintain in the midst of challenging times. And fourth, debrief. You know, even before we're through this challenge completely, start to document now what you're learning along the way, and note the actions that you're taking and how you're gaining momentum each day in the midst of this challenge. Be sure to set up a system where you and your team constantly drill in these skill areas. And in the end, you will have developed skills that will serve you and prepare you for whatever future challenge might come along. So radio for help by reaching out to your upline. Take action on strengthening your basic skills and your technical skills. Go topside to gather with your team and maintain a positive mindset, and then debrief along the way. You know, these are the 4 steps to take to regain your momentum in these challenging times. You can do this. You were placed here for such a time as this. And remember, I am here for you. Your leadership is here for you in this. We're all in this together. So do not hesitate to reach out, because together we can do this.